again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss away in the year, look at you. Use the youth, the money, waste my must have man statue. Say me like a catch you, but me got in a figure you. Take this print of money, girl, and say that it's not you. One day the man above me up, him a got up. Too much eating at the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me know me got bigger. The urgent the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our fever. Member bold only and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the sun man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again.
Stevie dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep. And some informer friend we love like. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. How you do all on this morning? If you are on the UK time, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hurricane Beryl has made landfall in Texas at a Category 1 stage. Given my cousin Myrna has just gone through the Category 4 stage of it in our community. Her son is now going to the Category Phase 1 in Texas, but he is, as I spoke to him earlier, not in the direct danger zone of this 80+ mile an hour wind Beryl. Still getting on with it. Rusty is online. We will tap into Rusty shortly to see his coverage. As you know, Rusty did an amazing coverage of Hurricane Beryl going across Jamaica. To my community of parity who slowly coming back online. You know, the WhatsApp, my brother reached out to me on WhatsApp this month, but signal very bad. Good morning to my cutoff community and parish and all my family members, platform moderator, membership holders, viewers and subscribers, commenters, trolls. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. We have several issues to raise this morning. Several. Debbie Jervis, good morning. Larissa Beckford, Gloria Morris, Sunshine. Natalia Freeman, Ebenezer Cody. Donette Harriet. Michelle Lewis Wilson Godsgift. Yvonne Riley. Marcia Thomas. Herbert Tizelin. Akabilan. Jason Kane. Janet Malone. Precious Allen. Noreen Dennison. Keith Salmon. Kamar Johnson. Elaine Turner. Annie Jones. Sharon Bernard. Sue McDuffie. Anthony Savage. Salvage, rather. Sharon Peart. Millicent Jones. Violet Watson. Bros. Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Brenda, good morning. Hurricane Beryl still a prog and a mess through, albeit at a weaker stage. There's expected to be flash flood in two of the major counties in Texas, Ralston, Henry, that it meant to pass through. Marcia Esty, good morning, good morning. Tash, good morning. But we're hoping the people of Texas will be okay going through this at a much weakness stage, even though it's expected Christine Gilbert to bring flash flood. Christine Gilbert, good morning. You're back online. How did you weather the storm? How did you weather the storm? I tried to call you, but I realized there was no way of getting through to majority Jamaicans. But good to see that you are back online, Christine Gilbert. That means things are looking up in certain areas. Massillon, Maitland. I've also been advised that the JDF went to my community yesterday and was assisting in the restoration of roof. Because some people roof the whole thing, board and zinc and everything, just lift off together and go sit down one side. So I was informed that that was being done yesterday. But because of the signal issue in our community, Monica Hawthorne, we're still not really getting images out of our community until people are really back online properly told it all. Good morning and welcome. So, we are keeping our eye on things. Dr. Nigel Clark. When I call Nigel Clark, they will have some question for ask him if we fool or him or all of them are all away. But we're going to deal with the sulfur issue this morning as well, because we have some questions to ask. But another issue came by me this morning from one of my globalists. where it was broadcast last night that a vlogger was, I would call it, attacked by a JLP supporter. Vicky King, the widow. Vicky King, the widow, it is said, crept up behind a vlogger and mentioned certain terms. One may say, why is Wayne getting involved? Shh, hold on one moment. Let me put it in context for you. The Prime Minister come out and tell us, say, him a chop we if we don't talk nice things. Then the Prime Minister, vlogger them, come out, come tell us, say, them have tracking information and them know where they, and they send subtle threat to us online, in public. JDF. Patricia Watson Dawkins. We saw where the Prime Minister, Chief of Social Media Warrior, threatened vloggers live on air, on video, that them track them and them know where them there. We've been made aware of sulfur, lust of freedom. Lillis Lockerbie, Jacqueline Brooks. We are yet to ascertain, Kirk Edwards, as to the facts, Sharon Robinson, that we're still probing. Althea, the facts of Sulphur's arrest, detention, conviction, whatever the state is at the moment. But a vlogger said last night, Vicky King walked up behind him. Now, why this is serious? The vlogger may be a faint-heart vlogger that is not confrontational in that way. But the JLP activist is a licensed firearm carrier. What if when him walk up behind that vlogger and call the vlogger pussy hole or whatever you want to call him, and the vlogger turn around to retaliate or react? Is he going to pull his licensed firearm? Arthur Patterson, how are you? Is he going to pull his licensed firearm? Look at the seriousness of this type of intimidation that JLP supporters has been pushing since the Prime Minister came out with his utterances. Regardless of who a vlogger might be, an attack on one is an attack on all. If the government wants to go after certain vloggers to try to silence everybody, it's just not going to work. Pamela Akola, Bingo, what people take these threats from the government and the government, gunmen and activists serious. Was it not a licensed firearm that Dean Jones used in February? Wasn't it? Wasn't it a licensed firearm that Dean Jones used to intimidate that man in St. Thomas in February? Lady Justice is blind for a reason. Lady Justice must not be concerned whether it is my enemy, my family, my friend, whether you're rich, you're poor, you're black or white. Lady Justice is not concerned with that. That's why she's blindfold. Lady Justice is concerned with facts and law. So because it may be X or it may be Y, doesn't mean it should be tolerated or a blind eye should be turned to the attack on another vlogger's free speech. An attack on one is an attack on all. Because the government and its social media warriors do not have argument to produce in public, their aim is to go on an intimidation rampage. Now go work around here. Now go work round here. This intimidation campaign that the Jamaica Labour Party, the Prime Minister, Audrey Marks, and the JLP executive, this dirty campaign on the now go work. Sonia Ellis, Sharon Peart. This dirty campaign, this intimidation campaign, this driving fear into us campaign, JLP, government, Andrew Holness, and its gunmen and social media warriors and trackers, it's not going to work. You may be able to drive fear into some Jamaican people. All the people with outer road, you couldn't give a toss what you want to do and what you might think. We're still going to talk. Talk me afraid of, talk me and go get. You if you want to come out in a crowd, come tell we say, you walk and chat with, and hold heap of nice things out there. Manica Hall, where we can go find and talk about. And you, from you make your utterance, you set your team of vloggers so one go around, go intimidate people, that Vicky King, with him licensed firearm, is going to creep up behind another vlogger and make swear language and suggestive intimidation to him. That's going to work. If you have lost your manhood, Vegas, and if that is what you're searching for, creeping up behind man, because we know Peter King chain you well to creep up behind man. If it's your lost manhood, Abina Sarkodie, that you're on a search for, get an exhumation order from the court. Dig up Peter King body. He was the last person we saw with your manhood. Peter King, Vicky, was the last man we saw with your manhood. But Peter and teacher, hold on. Have I missed something? If you have lost your manhood and you're on a search for it, creeping up behind a vlogger might not be the right route. Go get an exhumation order from the court and go dig up Peter King and him last whistle with it. So if I hit, you walk and search for. or creep up behind people. You're not going to find it that way there. You have to go through the courts, get an order, dig it up, and take it back. I'm not to beat and teach. Beat and teach. Daryl said to the Portland people I get back power. And that we want to know. We want to know who was the young vlogger the Prime Minister was referring to in that video. The vlogger when he saying track and identify, and we make up in a Prime Minister. I'm going to call Dana there. Call Dana. Because he said, the fake news galang in here. Serious. The fake news and the misinformation. At the time when the Prime Minister, I tell you all of that, never mind where I do behind closed door. Dana Morris Dixon said, you see, because we university people dunce, all we have to call Andrew when we see this thing them to find out if them go so. So Dana is saying, if we want to know if the thing them true or fake, we have to go to government source or we have to go to mainstream media. You know, like the one them where do ultrasound live on TV, the one them where follow wedding dress, and the whole of them something that them one that they say we have go to. You remember all PBCJ and JIS where they show you crocodile in the storm and never care if you no live or no die. Them one there, they say we have go to. But then the storm come. Then the storm come and it create a whole lot of fake news. If not be fake news, then it have to be misinformation. And if it's not misinformation, then it must be disinformation. But there are wide, glaring discrepancies. What are we talking about, Sonia Foster, Andrea? The amount of shelters across the country. Here how Andrew Holness would get out of this if pressed harder. Because when you look on Floyd Green Facebook page, their shelters are all of the available schools, primary, infant, second, those were their shelters. So the Prime Minister could count 900 easily across the country. Matthew Sumuda could count 780 easily across the country. But they might talk to foreign people. Muriel King. Debbie Jervis, how you do? How you do? We know you're busy today. Danette Warner, how are you? They might talk to foreigner. So they have it to run over, so them cup full and a run over. They have more than place to put with. Because a foreigner, they might talk to. But then Rowan Williams, when it gets to local people, local media, local issue, local government, Desmond McKenzie said 60 odd or so, just like how for Matthew Sumuda was 780 plus. The Prime Minister was the only one who gave a decisive figure, 900. I want to now ask Miss Dana Morris Dixon. Who do we go to, Miss Morris Dixon? Whether it be the foreign news, the local news, the local government, the whichever who do we go to verify which of those numbers are correct? And if all of them are correct, how could it be with such glaring discrepancies? Whose argument takes precedence? It depends on who you're speaking to, one would ask. Because if you're speaking to foreign and you want to make it look to foreign like, oh God, we're good, man, we have it all under control, we're good to go, then you're going to make foreign know say you have it in surplus. You know, no problem. Whose figure do we follow? And who, Miss Morris, as the junior mouthpiece of the government, it is your duty, Miss Dana Morris Dixon, to come out here and clarify to us which of the given figures from the 3 government ministers are we to follow. And if that is not fake news, misinformation or disinformation, Miss Morris Dixon, why wouldn't it be? Jackie Rockwood, why wouldn't it be misinformation or disinformation if the Prime Minister, the Minister for Water, the Minister for Local Government all have 3 different figures of the amount of shelters we have across the country? Who is giving us the right information? Who is speaking in hyperbole? Who is being deliberately lying is a question. Can I agree? How are you? Who is lying? And are we wrong? Are we being negative in questioning the blatant confusion in the numbers of shelter we've been given by government, by 3 different government ministries? Are we to accept it? Marceline Bennett, how are you? How did you weather the storm, Marceline? And how was the devastation in your neck of the woods? Who are we to believe? Who are we to believe? Whose number do we take as facts? Who in the midst of this provide misinformation? Who of the 3 provided disinformation? Who of the 3 provided us fake news? We can't turn a blind eye to something that was blatantly said. Run one list. You all ask us to verify what is true or not. We've been obedient and cooperative. We want to understand of the 3 different numbers of shelter we've been given. Remember, say, Uno bring up the issue of fake news. JC. Remember, Uno bring up the issue of fake news. So it cannot be that fake news only apply to vloggers, but not to government, not to those who were told to go to for reputable sourcing before we open we mouth. Or is it that when we're talking about the government positively, Michael Allen? Desmond Myrie, is it that when we're talking about the government positively, we can go there and freely flip our mouth like the Chopper and Vicky King? Who does fake news apply to? Does fake news apply to all of us who are able to put information out to the public? Or it only apply to those who disagree with powerful people? Because this is not making sense. In the middle of fake news, in the middle of us being accused of fake news, deliberately engineering argument for political gains and political propaganda, is the Prime Minister's suggestive. The Prime Minister said, we'll talk about negative news, and when we can't get the negative news, we talk about the bad news. And when the bad news don't available, we make up the fake news. And Mrs. So the Prime Minister, which of the three numbers we gonna make up Giwi are the foreigner them were fake? It's important that you answer that question, Prime Minister. Otherwise, your utterance about fake news means nothing. If you can come back in a public and clarify or apologize about the blatant lies, misinformation, fake news, or discrepancy that was put out in public, then you can come tell me, Nigel Taylor, about fake news. You can come call with propagandists. Why is my camera freezing or what? You can come call with propagandists, you know. Because in the middle of blaming we and a call with fake news, political operative, politician pay people for do this, then political organization, Darty Brown, pay people for do this or that. How in all that could you all get it so wrong? When you don't remember, so we watch foreign news too, Valerie Robinson. As Christine Gilbert said, look like us that are going. Fake news only apply when you disagree with powerful people. From a code of national bloggers don't come out and talk about the issue you have. Don't let them use the kid as an example. Fake news only apply to those who disagree with powerful people. Powerful people can come out and blatantly lie and expect not to be questioned. The minute you question them, then a fake news. I want politician round corner there, so pay you for walk and talk things about them. What we're going to get to sulfur. We have other questions before we get to sulfur, but we had to ask the government about the fake news, and them bring it up, not we. So we thought count the money. Remember, said the World Bank, UN was going to release a 4 million gallon weddy for the hurricane hit Ireland. Now we can see Jamaica is getting 2.5 million US out of it. You know, calculate how much that I go work out to in a Jamaica money for me, please. You know my number done. You know my number done. So count up how much is Jamaican money this 2.5 million US I go work out to. But Nigel Clark and Andrew Holness, well, this is related to Texas, where Hurricane Boreal make landfall in Texas, as we spoke about earlier, but we'll tune in to Rusty a bit later on. Elijah B, we want to pedal through some of these issues first, and then we still, Delroy Henry, have the issue of sulfur to deal with. A lot of questions we want to know. Nobody don't know sulfur. Nobody will listen to nobody across Jamaica will listen to social media and know it. Sheena Kelly. No, aware of sulfur, who sulfur is, who sulfur family are. 408 million Jamaican dollar. And that are just from the UN, where we know say other people. Megavolt, how are you? Morning and welcome. Thank you for coming back. I've been looking out for you from the other day. Empress Light, how are you? I want to personally, Megavolt, apologize to you for the incident that took place on my platform the other day between Carlos and yourself, where Carlos made a mistakenly attack on you, mistaking you for, I think, Mega Lion or someone or the other Mega who goes around and attack people on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party. Let me see what Sunshine is saying here. On behalf of the Labour Party, it was a mistaken attack. I apologize greatly for that, and I am sure Carlos is prepared to make an apology as well. It's just that we did not see you on the platform since, and I want to do it when you are here. So on behalf of the Global TV Group, I apologize for what took place the other day with regards to you. We have no idea his father was ringing his other son and mother, but he was unable to get through. Hold on there. No, they're not getting money. The hurricane needs to be. Yeah. Hold on there. Did Nigel take out the right catastrophe insurance? Is there another bond that Nigel could have gone for that would qualify Jamaica given the devastation of the level 4, the category 4 hurricane? He advertised Cotton James, he said, Okay, is a good boy. So maybe you could try and see if you can get in touch with her. Sorry, just look at some of the comments. Did Nigel take out the right bun? And is it another red flag for the finance minister? And I'm hoping that this is not a way for the prime minister to come and tell us that resources are scarce. With the UN give already, we know say others are going to give. Emmerich Lambert, Karen Namod. So we don't want to hear from the prime minister say resources scarce. I have a difficult reading fine writing, but let me pull up this in my face by my phone 1 second. Ask Dr. Mande a question. The contingency fund and national disaster fund. Well, them are going to take 4.5 billion out of that. To count up the money them, you know. Kevin Davis, he's a jerk world, how to do. Count up the money them for when them are going to tell us the resources scarce or whatever. Remember how much the UN 2.5 million work out to. Then them are go from the contingency fund and the national disaster fund, them are going to take out 4.5 billion out of that and go and add up. Go and add up Dolores slogan. Make we know when they say they scare some money. But could you have Dr. Clark gone into a tropical cyclone bun that would make Jamaica qualify given the intensity or severity of this disaster? Have you set the bun, Dr. Clark, at too much of a high threshold given or track record on storm where we've never really had a category 5 hit? Kenny O'Gale. Who are you referring to, Valerie, when you say his father spoke to him approximately 3 weeks ago? Are you referring to Sulfur? That means I have to roll back and look at some of Valerie's comments. Hold on to my peeps. When if you had seen your post yesterday, we would have been. I had not seen your post yesterday. Okay, I'll call us. Me aware. Hold on. Hold on there. But anyone have any information on sulfur? You can send a text to my phone and an update. When I have, you can send a text to my phone. Because some of the comment them and miss me. Some of the comments are missing me. Rejoicing him always. How are you? Hold on. Bagwalk. So are you saying, Valerie, he's from the Bagwalk area? Does anyone have any contact in Bagwalk that they can reach out to approximately 3 weeks ago. His father spoke to him. Sulfur is my partner's son. Are you able to provide me some more detailed information if you want to text it to my phone or whatever? What is he charged for if you are aware? And are you able to put us in touch with anyone that wants to, Delpha Campbell, how are you? That wants to fight for his freedom if this is a deliberate attack on his freedom by the government. His father also contacted his auntie. Valerie Palazaro, how are you? We have no idea what is going on at the moment. Saw it first on your post. Wow. Can be communicating between somebody. Someone should be that is Sulfur auntie on his father's side. Okay, try and ask someone to get in touch with any vlogger if they're afraid for the things from Jamaica. We in a foreign, yeah, don't afraid to put things out there, and we're not afraid to ask the relevant question. But has Dr. Clark set the catastrophe bond threshold too high, given that we normally get category 3 to 4 hurricane, or we do not get a direct hit, but we tend to get flooding from the outer band a lot of the time? Marcia B. Rowe, how are you? So is it that Dr. Clark was going after the big fish and by then set the bar too high, Janet Mundy, which, if Jamaica was in the tropical cyclone bar, would have been qualified for a payout on this type of catastrophe, one which we've never seen, given this is not the first hurricane Jamaica has been through. He has sister and brothers in Bagwalk, but they are not my partner's kids, so have no contact with them. Whoever in Bagwalk you can reach out to get any information. Anyone, please do assist in doing so we can continue to probe what is the issue with regards to sulfur. What else do we want to pick up on? Banana Catastrophe Fund. Prime Minister, Fried Green, Minister of Agriculture. The banana and planting industry. The preliminary assessment is that 80% to 100% our banana and planting get wiped out. Hey, Rusty gone off the line already? Get wiped out. We're asking if the government is going to now release the banana catastrophe fund or the banana catastrophe support from the EU, because this is the time where farmers island-wide are devastated. Agriculture across Jamaica, especially southern Jamaica, will provide a lot of farming. So I hope the Prime Minister can speedily, without a lot of red tape, Bevan Brown, without a lot of red tape, make sure plantain and banana farmers have access to the banana catastrophe fund or support, so people can start to rebuild them livelihood and them lives in the agricultural sector. We know see a whole heap of work for do across the island. We know it's heavier than what we've been through before, but we're expecting extra resources and manpower to be placed into the worst hit areas, particularly on Jamaica southern coastline. So from Clarendon down to Westmoreland. I lost my banana, plantain, and pear and apple tree. My God, there is such a drive that is needed across the country in the recovery of planting fruit trees and just about any tree across the country, but especially fruit trees. Wherever one tree lasts, we're going to try to replace it with a fruit tree. Provide more food for the next generation to come. So, we want to make sure, and the signs should show now that any new tree or plant, they must plant in an area where, when them have full growth, they don't become a threat to your house in disaster like this, should they fall. So, no plant no tree if it grow, we're going to possibly hang over your property. Now that we have the experience of certain things, it guides us for the future. So in the new tree planting drive, Leon McIntyre, in the new tree planting drive across Jamaica, make sure you plant up a whole heap of fruit tree, because you provide food for the next generation for 1,000 years. I don't know how long some of these trees where we grandma and we mama and all them grow come see. All of them fruit tree where we enjoy to the day. We don't think they just turn up today, so. Then Miles, how are you? Them never just turn up today, so. Them plant by people generations ago. That's why we have all these monster ackee tree, these monster mango tree, these monster pear tree. People plant them for the future. So coming out of burial, that is one of the drive for Jamaica, is to restore Jamaica greenery. Is to restore Jamaica greenery across the country. Anisabel Rose, good morning and welcome. Is this Anisabel Rose, the vlogger? We need a tree planting drive across the entire country because of the devastation that you're hearing about across the island, how much a tree tear down and how the place look clear, how you can't see far. We need to rebuild our greenery. I mean, the national forestry or environmental people or whatever they are, I know they're going to do their part, but all of us have a duty to rebuild the greenery in our community as well. Imagine how some of our community them are going to look when all of them yeah, devastation. Okay, welcome, Anissa, welcome. When all of them are devastation, dried up under our intense heat, can you just imagine how desolate and derelict our country is going to look? So we need to get onto, we have to multitask in this recovery and rebuilding efforts, because we have a long way to go and we're still in full flight of the season. We're not even reached high in there yet. So we need to rebuild before another storm come find us on the back foot. We have to make sure of that. Let me just check my phone there 1 second. 1 second there. I'm trying to get attention. Hold on 1 second. Travis Peter King. Marcel comment. I need to look at Marcel's comment. Hold on a second. Okay, now. Bear with me, please. I need to find a particular comment. Is it true that you are what you are saying? So smarter than Maitland. They found him with a gun. How could we source that information, Miss Maitland, that he was held with a firearm? We would like to know. We would like to know if that is the case, how long did this incident took place? Was it prior to his activism? Is it recently? Was he framed? Did he have a firearm? Was he set up? These things would be important to know, because I was going to ask some of these type of questions this morning. When was he charged? What was he charged for? Because in the context of the pre-recorded video that he put up, understanding how the justice system works, then one, it would lead certain question as to what is his charge, what is the seriousness of his charge that he would be telling us, if you don't see me, I'm locked up, you'll see me in the next 15 years, it leads some of us to start thinking about firearm charges, given we know the sentence for firearm charges. If anyone knows of him, is he a gangster? Is he person gang related? Does anyone know of him as a criminal? Is it a possibility that he could have been set up or could have been framed? He has not been charged as yet. This was at the beginning of this month. So you're saying he was arrested with a firearm at the start of this month, but has not been charged yet. So therefore, he would be on remand. If this happened at the start of this month, we're at the 8th day now. What is the seriousness or the severity? Because if he was on police bail after being held or arrested with the firearm, because the video wouldn't have been before the police held him. So was he, can you answer this question for me, Valerie? Correction, the start of the year, it was a board gun. They held him at the start of the year and it was a board gun. Do you know which police station he was held at and how we could ascertain any information from that police station, Florence Brown? He said he has been framed. I heard he was framed and say 15 years, that it was all understood from social media. Because him setting a pre-release video, he would have set it when he would have to appear in court. And then it would be set to release at a particular time. He would have known court would have been ended by XY time and I would have been at home by then. So if he's not released, then the video would be published at the time he sent it. If he is not on remand, I would expect him, Marva Dice, Sharon Robinson, to retract Michael Coley, the information on the video. He had appeared in court, but the police who made the arrest did not appear. Okay. And is this board gun one of the board gun that could cause a danger? Because let me tell you, back in the days when we create board gun, you can create it in the form of how a fish gun with that spear works. So those can be seen as a dangerous weapon. But if he is not been charged, or if it was not a firearm or a replica that was that they have done work to make it a usable gun, then or I would have to look at the firearm law. You can't just, if it's a board gun, you can't give people 15 years before board gun. If a board gun, at least 3 months before. His arrest was at the beginning of the year, at least 3 months before. they might be telling lies on him. Imitation gun. Yes, imitation gun. Well, we are aware that there's confusion in the DPP's mind, official, as to whether so the Firearm Act will establish that, as to whether one should be charged under Section 5 or Section 45. The DPP does have that. But if it's a board gun or imitation gun, would that be serious enough for the court to remand him, given that he has not been charged? Given that he has not been charged, this wouldn't be how justice operates, because he was already on bail. What's the risk to the public? What is the risk to are our judges corrupt? Can politicians give instruction to our judges as to which of us freedom or allow freedom or not, is a question to ask. If what we are hearing is true, but we want to clarify, JamaicanTV.com, we want to clarify and get more. But if what we're hearing is true, it leads a question to ask, are our courts corrupt? If he was caught with a real firearm, done it, Harriet, and he is a danger, to my understanding, he had to report to the police station regular. So he had police bail. That would mean he had police bails with conditions. The conditions are he must report to the police XY time. Going to court, what would be the risk posed to the public if he was already on police bail and is following, has not breached the restriction his bail was on? Which police station, do you know? And has not breached the, what we call the word, the conditions of his bail. What would make that judge remand him in custody? It would be interested to know if he does not pose a further danger to the public, particularly if he, I think it was Linstead police station, if he has not breached his bail condition, if he does not present a threat to the public, if the weapon he was arrested with is not a weapon that poses a danger to the public, why would the court place him on remand? The question here to ask, is there government interference in justice here? I am assuming if he was on bail for whatever he was charged of, maybe his bail was revoked due to his social media against the PM, then that would make a vote. That would be an interference. That would be social media directing the judges rather than the law, which would be high seas corruption, where a judge would be silencing you because you're not in agreement with the government. That's dangerous for justice. It's dangerous for democracy. It's dangerous for our freedom of speech. It's dangerous for our right to fair trial. It's dangerous for our right to liberty. If a court can remand us because we're not favorable to the government, and this is all rather more important, why we need to press and get to the bottom of the issue with regards to sulfur. Debbie White, We must get to the bottom of what happened. What was he charged for? This was his first offense? And you are saying, from your knowledge, the firearm is not a real firearm, nor is it a replica that was adapted to use as a firearm. When you say board gun, are you talking about board gun what we play with back in the days? Or are you talking about board gun where we can put that sharpened iron on the top of it, have that hole where it fly through, and pull it back with a piece of leather, and you let it go, you can pierce it into somebody? Yes, his father asked that question many times. Why not? Why is it not in the news? Remember, Tony? Remember, if this has anything to do with Sulphur's activism, then if the government is interfering with the court to deny him of his liberty, the government has more control over the media. So it wouldn't be surprising that you're not seeing or hearing anything of the sort in mainstream media. Mainstream media don't see this as a worthy story to pick up. I hope Isaac Buchanan, as a social justice lawyer, can pick up this issue. Sonny Michael, how are you? I hope Isaac Buchanan, as a social justice lawyer, as a human rights lawyer, can pick up this pending human rights violation. Chapter John said that he found 4 out of the 7 see people watering their flowers. Yes, we hear him, and we take it as a threat, just like how Vicky King walked up behind Trenton yesterday and I threatened him, because I view it as a threat. Because Vegas is a licensed firearm holder. To poor Andre wasn't faint heart, and Andre turned around to approach him in defense of that attack from behind. What? Vicky King, I will take out him licensed firearm after he goes out there aggressing another vlogger in defense of the government, commanding us to speak favorable of the government. None of them intimidation you're not going to take lightly, no matter who it is. This intimidation coming from the government within people them with licensed firearm, it's not going to work. Novelet Vic. So Vegas with him gun can walk around and check vloggers. Vegas with him gun can walk around and check vloggers. Otherwise, we're going to make your gun license take off for you. Because I know that you get your gun license for Pamela Akola. I know that you get your gun license for Vegas. For go around with it and intimidate people because they're not favorable to your political masters. It's not going to work around here. And we're not going to tolerate it for against anybody. Could have been Andre, could have been this, could have been. It won't be tolerated. An attack on one is an attack on all. Is an attack to silence us. We see that firearm intimidation from February. Dean Jones was brazen with it. They never hide. They know they're protected by a criminal organization. They know they are protected by a criminal organization. So they can wield them gun at us in the public. Them can use the power of their gun to intimidate us. Vegas said, nah, go intimidate nobody around here. If a popularity you look, go look at exhumation order for exhume Peter King body. Holy power will come stand up there and video you. I exhume your man body, I look for your manhood where Peter King gone with. And from Peter King gone with your manhood, Vegas, the whole away in a problem. We must come walk and help you dig up grave. Figure find your manhood. Go and get an exhumation order from the court. If I your last manhood, make you walk and creep up behind male vloggers. You need to go and get an order from the court, Miranda Raddock. So you can dig up Peter King and you can find your last manhood. Breed me Peter King, says the Black Widow. Vicky King says, breed me Peter King. Go and get a court order. The time you walk and creep up behind vloggers, I'm telling the vloggers, when on the outer road, on a phone must always handy to capture a video of a fool. When me there road, me always a walk with one of my phone pan tripod, live ready to video. Camera up and ready. All me need to do is boops the red button and gone a road. As you say, hey, me video you. Let us read. Yarn too hard. And a video you and show the world. Me no so no can't kill me. But me gonna make sure it's on camera. Me have a phone. But when me walk on road, me back on my front camera, a video at the same time. Me not have to look back at me for soon if no come up behind me. My camera show me who they back at me, as well as my camera and my eye show me who they in front of me. Me no so no can't kill me. But me a make sure evidence that road when I go kill me on that camera. But one thing I can tell you, you're not going to silence me. If my mouth never cut straight way, you're not going to silence me. As long as my mouth cut cross way, Oops official, how are you? You will not silence me. I hit me get if I fit talk. And me I go use if I talk. And all if me question them dumb, I'm going to still ask them. Because them a question. It left to you, the fool, if you want to answer it. What happened to sulfur? Is there government interference in justice? Is there government interference in law enforcement? Has sulfur been set up? Is sulfur being used as a scapegoat to send a message? Prime Minister, what happened to sulfur? Who were you talking about? Who was that trapped young man? Remember, you threatened us the way I go see things are going soon in a prime minister. His name is Rondale Lawrence. Rondale Lawrence. So somebody take down this name and help if they do whatever research on a can. Rondale. Who can assist us on the ground? Carlinstead Police Station. Did you guys saw Ratty letter? Yes, Ratty sent me a copy of that letter as well. I have a copy of that letter. Yes, it really I lose it. You see, because these people, Andrea, the problem is with Black Widow, the Chopper, and all of those aggressive fools. They are not able to come out and do what the Prime Minister asks, is that the Prime Minister has been spoken about positively. Find the good things them. Find the good things them. For make sulfur. Find the good things them for vloggers talk about. Because I hope a good thing there where for talk about. Is this an attack on sulfur? Because sulfur not talk good about the Prime Minister. So it is okay for the Prime Minister vlogger them, the Prime Minister government ministers them, to put all sorts of defamatory comments out there about Mark Golden and his family. And it's all good, well, and done. The Prime Minister have no qualms with that. Thank you, Elaine. The Prime Minister have no qualms with that. What the Prime Minister does have qualms with, though, is people holding government to account. The Prime Minister have a major qualm with us not peddling his argument and narrative. It is why they want to attack us. It is why they want to intimidate us, because they have nothing to argue about. They cannot put an argument forward. The Washington demonstration shows that. It was glaring. Carlos, Mr. Rattigan, Carlos, Mr. Rattigan. There were many messages and narratives coming from the other side. Not at one point, the bullhorn blowers, Vicky King and Girly Samuda, none of them could ever challenge any of the message, any of the argument, any of the views that was coming from the global diaspora protest, the call to action protesters. Carlos, Mr. Rattigan, a load of bullish fetish. The Brokeback Mountain style. The Peter King widow style. I mean, you're not tired for run down failed popularity. What have you tried that have not failed? Since you come find the man in your sofa, woof, waff, baff, biff, turn sideways, turn backway, back. You have lost it. You're on a search for mental validity. You want to be valid. You want to feel valid. You want to feel like someone again. Not without the manhood, though, Mrs. King. With the loss of your manhood, you will not be able to feel like that again. As the ambassador for the queer and transgender community, what you ought to do, Vegas, is try to be comfortable in your transgender skin. Look at your earring. Is it not going down the transgender route? Is it not? Those are the things you must try and find and sort out. All of these things that you're running around, Rastafarian, Pan-Africanism, religion, Christianity, vlogging, political activism, you have failed miserably at every attempt to revive your failed lost. You have failed at every attempt. You were picked up and pushed out on a wheelbarrow by Gina Jennings security. Where in the entertainment community have you heard anyone spoken of you favorably? Can't tell everybody in the dance hall you're the biggest man whore, you're the biggest skittle, You are the biggest backroad queen. Everybody can take you and spin you and turn you around. You not go threaten nobody around here with your license firearm and get away with it. Because even though you may not have pulled your firearm or may not have used your firearm to intimidate the vlogger, what if the vlogger reacted to you and a confrontation ensued? You have to pull your license firearm? Is that not a threat? Is that not an intimidation? Or we all laugh for veteran? But you they all laugh. Mind me start by you this morning. Come here and laugh. Mind me start by you. Mind me start by you this morning. Everything you have tried, every way you have tried to revive that broken spirit of yours, that depleted manhood of yours. Every try you buck up in a brick wall. I don't know how feel for it that bus yet. Big ears ring gal. Vicky King. I don't know how you're for it that bus yet, you know. Everywhere you turn, you buck up in a brick wall. I mean, anyone who failed Jamal's school would have realized something is wrong here. Why me can't get past the wall here? Why me can't get popular again? Look at what I have come down to. I'm fighting with vloggers just to be popular. Look at what I have come down to. You know, see how we're popular. That these once were entertainers, once were celebrity. Well, when we couldn't get on TV, when we couldn't get on video, the whole of them depend. Where the whole on the over here for? What the whole on the over here for a war with vloggers? Why you never wait till vlogging come in before you become popular? So you never have to come jump out on an entertainment high horse seat and come down here a war with vloggers over popularity. You know see so you feel. Vegas and Spice and Queen Africa, the whole of miserable children of Satan, marine spirit, agents of the dark world. You know see so you feel. Look at your failures. Hold on out here, fight with vlogger. Hold on out here, I seek attention off of vloggers. You know see so you don't relevant anymore. Me no know out of uno and RJR and JBC and TVJ and CVM who done. But uno done. It's a new dawn. Social media is the in thing. Someone who did exist in a mainstream media on a day is done. Everybody used to know already. Everybody knows so now. Chaka. Everybody know it was all about on a contract. But you never heard nothing out of white people. They just use in the industry. You come here now and come war with we. Over sit down in and talk what we got school go learn for. We God bless we with someone who can do. Because if you did can, if you could have come sit down and have a conversation. Clifford Simmet is Vicky. Is Vicky Peter King. That is Vicky Peter King Megavolt. Vicky Peter King. Who is Clifford Simmet? Clifford Simmet is Vicky Peter King. Peter King, widow. Breed me Peter King, says Clifford Smith. He was walking at night and stopped by a police. This incident was not recently. So if this incident was not recently, what brought back on the recent removal of his liberty is a question to ask. Is there government interference in justice? Is the court taking orders from the state? Is the court taking order from the state to restrict our liberty if we speak out against the government? Is this an attack on freedom of speech? If he was arrested with a board gun, if this arrest took place earlier in the year and he was on police bail with condition, if he has not breached his condition, what would be the reason for removing his liberty or revising his bail condition? Would this be because of government interference? Would this be because of his activism in social media? Would it be because he's exposing the government radically and factually on the money laundering issue of the tax administration of Jamaica, which has made Nigel draw into his conch shell and nobody can see him? We have to go knock off the back part of Nigel to pull him out of that shell when Nigel has been drawn into, from we find out about the money laundering and tax administration of Jamaica under the behest of the Minister of Finance. Millions of your money was laundered by the Minister of Finance. The judge got a huge pay raise. They are compromised and are obligated to this administration. We want to know what is Sulphur charged with, and if he was on remand, why his bail condition was revised. Why his bail condition was revised. If he was held with a board gun, does it met the threshold to be charged for an illegal weapon or an offensive weapon under the Firearms Act? But we need to know the facts. Because it's a criminal matter, it would be a public law issue. Therefore, it's an issue between the state, we the people, represented by the crown, and Sulphur. So we the public need to know the facts as to what he was charged for, and does it meet the threshold of the act or section to which he's been charged under. We want to know if the government is interfering in the law enforcement system, as well as, Karen Nemad, if the government is interfering with the judiciary. Only when we get the facts to the issue with regards to this young man, then we can fairly say something is awfully off here. If he was arrested earlier this year, he was on bail, and it is said it's not a real firearm. Would there been an instruction coming from government to take this vlogger off the street because he's saying too much? He won't be tempered. We cannot tone him down. Let's move him off the street. A lot of people are of the view that the government, the justice system, Paula Llewellyn and Jeremy Taylor and others stitched up the Vybz Kartel case in order to remove Vybz Kartel from society because of his influence. It is an argument produced by a lot of the Gazans. But who is to say if, or speculation with regards to sulfur is true, who to say similarities did not take place in Kartel's prosecution? We're just asking. You mean to say if I'm sit down here and talk, only 153 and I hit the like button? I saw a tan bad. Althea Johnson, how are you? I saw a really, really tan bad. This is an issue that requires a lot of focus. The reason is the government has sent threat to vloggers. The government explained to us that he has the ability, James, to track us. The government explained to us they have the ability to track us, and they are doing so. And they are going to be taking measures against us. What happened to sulfur is the question. And everybody should be asking that question this morning. What happened to sulfur? Is sulfur a victim of government intimidation? Is sulfur a victim of JLP authoritarianism? Will you accept that? Will you turn a blind eye without asking the question to get the facts, to see if his incarceration, Joan Brown, have a basis in law, Agency Driver 5? Or is it because of corruption and government interference? We must keep this issue in the headline until we get the facts of the issue to find out if sulfur has broken the law or sulfur was set up by the state, or the state has intervened in the process of justice, giving direction to our judges. If the speculation is true, that would spell a danger to democracy. We would have been at great risk where the court, which is to protect us from a tyrannical government, would be taking order from a tyrannical government in order to suppress free speech, Ubuntu, and to restrict your liberty. This would be dangerous. It doesn't apply to just one of us. That would apply to all of us. Therefore, an attack on one is an attack on all. An attack on any vlogger is an attack on all. We will not be silenced. We will not fall fear to government and its activist intimidation, be that on a licensed firearm holder or not. We will not be fearful. We will not comply. We will not. We will not comply. Thank you very much for being here with us on your At a Glance program. You know I'm your host, Producer Wayne. Thank you all for being here with us. Agency Driver 5, how you do? On a regular basis. Thanks for your continuous support. And remember, our GoFundMe for our Rebuilding Party project is pinned in the top of the chat. If you want to help to support the rebuilding efforts in my community, then even a pound, even £1, $1 in the GoFundMe would be appreciated from all of you, any of you, anyone out there in the world that hears our plight. We ask that you support our rebuilding efforts as we were brutally hit by Hurricane Gilbert. Sorry, not Gilbert, Beryl. I want to thank you all very much for being here this morning. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you later. My number is on screen. If anyone has any information with regards to sulfur or can put us in touch with any of Sulfur's family, please do so. We want to make sure we keep his story in the spotlight every time we turn on we live until we know more. Every time we turn on we live, a Sulfur will ask about Prime Minister. From you talk about the young man, and then so we want to know. We want to know if this is an attack against his activism, if this is an attack against his freedom of speech, and if this is an attack and a subliminal warning to the rest of us that be careful what you talk about. Me no want to no come around and come run on a mouth about anything, and I must talk good about me. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning from Global Television. We will see you later.